Hi, it's Faceless Tag. I do normally do sort of projects with other people's projects, but someone offered me this kit on Instagram, and I was like, did a quick little bit of research around, and I thought, you know what, I quite fancied one of these in the past, but I always missed out on the pre-orders. It was just passing me by, so I was like, yeah, why not? I'll take you up on the offer. Had a look around, found a Wary video from Sudo Mods. He did a great kind of explanation of some of the cuts and stuff of the shell. Kind of watched that video, and then I kind of ordered the parts. He went for like a teal and white. I went for a teal and orange because I think everyone's gone for like a teal and white. It does look nice, but I just thought I'd try a different sort of look to it. Uh, Started basically doing the cuts. There's like the screen cut, which is like to remove all the surround flush, and then there's like a 3D printed bracket to go in. There's a 3D printed bracket to do the drilling of the holes, extra holes. One for your deep PSP stick. I remember the PSP stick. You can do a Vita thumbstick as well. There's like a sock place on the board for that. That's quite good because that basically just solders straight to the board as well, which is nice. And then there's like button wells to go in for these. The ones that I found didn't quite work well, so I basically reverse engineered them and got them to work for mine. I'm sure my drill had drifted when I was opening them up. It's probably best to use like a step drill. I just had a set of different drills, so I think that's what probably happened there. There's a few things that I kind of like as I was wading into the project. I was getting a bit worried about. One was the screen surround. I originally bought just a plain clear screen surround for that, and I was gonna like mask it off and spray paint it myself. But then someone was like, "Oh, Blushy Squirrel in the UK, they do the actual custom screen surrounds. When you actually go to order, there is actually a circuit shield option for this." And they also contact me asking back and forth if I wanted the power LED hole because that's not on all pockets, and this text here as well, and the colour they come through with that. It's great. There was another thing as well, which is the L1, R2 buttons. Basically, everyone else I think was using like clicky buttons. I didn't really want clicky because these aren't clicky, so I kind of wanted them all to match. So I found these like square plastic topped buttons that I was using in an old controller project. They're nice soft touch. And then I also had these tiny little PCBs to turn them into right angled buttons with right angled headers. So I basically put them on the back, and it was just like a two S&D pads, and then they went to through holes at the back, so I could glue them in place with 2-part epoxy, and then I wired it in. Which is great about this project is all the wiring and all that is basically they give you wires, good length to them, and then they've got like sockets on the board, so you can just wire it in and then plug it in, and it's great. So when you kind of, because with this project you're kind of always trying to testing the screen, testing the board and the shell, testing how everything goes back together, so you kind of half taking everything apart, putting it back together, so it really helps you in that respect. Went for the massive 4000 milliamp hour battery. That was quite easy to get off AliExpress. There's like a set size. It will be my blog post with a few other files and stuff, but yeah, it's good. Battery life is absolutely amazing on this. Went with put the USB port so you can plug in a flash drive to transfer ROMs, or you can just put hook your controller up there if you wanted to, or whatever you want to do with it. With the SD card, it is actually easy exposed on the side here, so you can easily swap it in and out. You've got your HDMI out, which is there's a setting in the settings. I'll show you in a minute how to use that. There's the joggle wheel, which is quite nice. Instead of having just an up that like a spinny wheel for your volume, it's got like a joggle wheel. If anyone remembers off the early 2000s, Sony phones used to have these when they flick up and down, and then press it in to bring up. Basically, you can turn the volume up and down with just a flick out, and then you press it in to bring up another setting with a few other quick access things. USB-C charging. You've got your power LED here, and there's another LED in the back you can see through the grill for your Wi-Fi and stuff. But yeah, I'll turn it on now and give it a whirl. It's got that's the best thing about this project. It's got the safe shutdown, so you can just turn it off like you would a Gameboy. It does all the shutdown script and all that. Perfect. And it's dead quick because it's a I should have said before, it's a CM3 light version, but you've got your Wi-Fi built onto the board and all that kind of stuff. It's one of the old Raspberry Pi compute modules that are on the sort of like RAM slot, aren't they? I'll show you a quick now. Here we go. This setting is probably the best setting, which is single one-time reboot to HDMI. So what you do is you hit that, plug in your HDMI to your telly. it'll reboot the system, go to HDMI on the telly, and then once you finish playing, just turn it off, and it'll return back to the normal screen then, which I think is a really ingenious way of doing it, because otherwise you'd have to kind of mess around with config files and other things from when I've built other ones in the past. So I think it's, hats off to this build. This build, obviously, this script, this SD card image would be available in the blog post. I'll show you a quick bit of PlayStation. Playing Tony Hawk's on a Game Boy Pocket is just, it's mind blowing, really. That's all I can say. You got your battery indicator at the top here. The Wi-Fi there is not connected. Load some settings, and there you go. Here's the volume. If you press it up, flick it up and down, it goes up in 5% increments. And yeah, it's really fast. The screen is absolutely amazing. It's like a matte screen as well, which is quite nice when you're putting it together. You don't really have to worry about getting fingerprint smudges on it, and dust and that kind of thing's easy to get off. But yeah, it's just absolutely amazing. Here's the safe shutdown, and then that's it. You're off. It's amazing. I can't really say enough about this project. It's really well put together. Everything's included in it. I know it's kind of probably, I think he's doing clearance at the moment. You can actually still buy them if you can get all of them. But it's a good kit. It's quite hard. It is quite hard to do the shell cuts. If you are a bit nervous about it, just order 2 shells and then you got yourself covered then. But yeah, I did this as well. This custom 3D printed case cover, because there's all, you have to cut basically most of this cartridge slot away, behind the back. I just made this. I just glued it in, literally with a bit of hot glue. And that's it. It's really nice. Covers it all up, because obviously you got your massive battery here, which goes all the way up here. But it's to fit a lot into this small shell is quite it's quite an achievement. You got the your headphone jack as well at the bottom, which is nice. It's just a really good build, really good. I was really quite. I did slowly do it over a couple of months, so it's just quite nice. But obviously, description, there'll be a blog post in the description with a little bit more of like these custom PCBs and the buttons, where to get them from, some other shell pieces and that, everything that I've basically custom made. I'll release all that, so hopefully it'll make your life a bit easier. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.